Good evening, everyone. This is BremSter. I'm in the middle of a marathon puzzle recording session. This is Perspective by Ratfinkz, something I have lost completely. I have absolutely no perspective right now. But hopefully I can solve this puzzle. This was a recommendation, but Ratfinkz has been a big-time supporter of the channel, so I am looking forward to doing this puzzle quite a lot. So, I'm recording this like a fortnight in advance. All of the puzzle recording schedule is completely bonkers. I am recording things just when I can, how I can. Let's try and get some perspective by solving some perspective. So, what do we have? We have normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. We have 10 lines. So the grey lines 10 lines. Digits along a grey line must be separated into sequential groups so that each group sums to a total of 10. Now, it doesn't say it in these rules, but on 10 lines normally, they cannot overlap. So I could not, for example, make those 3 digits sum to 10 and then have those sum to 10. These must be non-overlapping sequential sets of 10. If these were to sum to 10, then that could sum to 10, and that could sum to 10. Actually, that's not going to work. But anyway, however we break up the line, we must have groups of 10 that do not overlap. Arrow variant. The average of the digits along an arrow must equal the digit placed in that circle. The average of the digits along an arrow must equal the digit placed in that arrow circle. So if these were... let's figure this out. If these were 3 and 9, let's put those in. If these were 3 and 9, these would sum to 12. The average of 12 is 6, so this could be a 6. That is very different to any arrow I've seen before, and I quite like it. Avarros, is that what we call them? Avarros. Avarros. I don't know what we call them. An arrow variant. Entropic lines, so digits along or any set of 3 sequential cells along a beige line must contain a low digit, 1, 2, 3, a middle digit, and a high digit. So these 3 cells will contain a low, a mid, and a high. Those 3 cells will contain a low, mid, and a high. Those 3 cells will contain a low, mid, and a high. Digits may repeat on the line if allowed by other rules. Good, because otherwise we'd need, what is this? 8 plus 8, 16 plus 1, we'd need 26 different digits. That might be a problem. We are not solving this puzzle in base 26. Please don't set a puzzle in base 26. I will not. Well, feel free, but I'm not going to attempt to solve it. Consecutive pairs. Digits separated by a white dot must be consecutive, or not all dots are given. So somewhere else in the puzzle, there will be a domino that is consecutive digits. Okay, I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. I have no idea. Okay, 10 lines. I do know how 10 lines work. Now, I think this 10 line is important because you can never put a 10 into a single cell. So the minimum length of a 10 line is 2. But if I make a 3-cell 10 line, I think I've got a problem. Because you can do 10 in 3 or even 10 in 4 if it's 1, 2, 3, 4. But I think I have a problem if I make a 3-cell 10 line. So let's say I make this a 3-cell 10 line. I could do a 2-cell 10 line here and a 2-cell 10 line here, but this would be either a 1-cell 10 line, which wouldn't work. So I'd have to make this another 3-cell 10 line. The problem I have with this is this. So if this is 3 cells long, I could make this 2. I couldn't make this 2, so I'd have to make it 3 because I can't leave a 1 behind. So if I make one of them 3, the maximum that the 10 line could sum to would be 30. And that's a problem. Why? Because we know the sum of all of the digits in the box because the box contains all of the digits from 1 to 9. And all of the digits from 1 to 9, if you add them together, you get 45. This is true. Now, if I subtract 30 from 45, I have 15 left over. And that would have to be a 15. And while I can put 15 in there with center pencil marks, that is not a digit from 1 to 9. So that doesn't work. So I can never have a 3-length 10 line. So there's either 10 line here, this is a 10 line, 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 or this is a 10 line, this is a 10 line, this is a 10 line, and this is a 10 line. That could be a 10 line. No, it can't. 2 consecutive digits cannot sum to 10. So I know the 10 lines are here, 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 and here. I'll use blue. Actually, I'll just use blue and yellow. I don't know anything about them, but I'll just use blue and yellow. And the reason for that is what two consecutive digits sum to 10? The only way to make up 10 is 1, 9, not consecutive, 2, 8, not consecutive, 3, 7, not consecutive, 4, 6, not consecutive. 1 and 2 sums to 3. Basically, two consecutive digits sums to an odd number. 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4. You always have an odd and an even digit. So that doesn't work. So these are the makeup of the 10s. But I also know that this sums to 40. So this is a 5. So can I do anything with these arrows? The minimum these could be would be 1 and 2. These are an average. Those are an average. This is a bit weird. I'm actually going to change from coloring these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put X's. That's not ideal because I'm putting X's over the dots. But I want coloring for a different purpose. Because these are either both high or both low. Because a 10 sum these are both the same high-low, above 5 or below 5. Because a 10 sum is either, you must use a high and a low digit. I can't use two high digits. 6 and 7 is 13. I can't use two low digits. 3 and 4 is only 7. So I must use a high and a low digit. But these are consecutive. And the only way I can get two consecutive digits is if they're the same high-low. And the same is true here. But what do I know about these arrows? This can't be 1, 2 because this must have an even sum. But that doesn't stop this being anything because I can't make it 2, but this could be 3 if these sum to 6. No, I could even make these 2 if this sums to 4. Now, it can't be 1 because I can't make these sum to 2. So this is anything from 2 through 8. Wow, that's not fun at all, is it? Okay, so let's look at the entropic line. Can I tell something about the entropic line? So we've got something, we know something about the entropic line. Let's just color these with my normal entropic coloring. Now, I do know that these digits contain I don't know whether blue is going to represent one of low, mid, middle, or high. Green is going to represent a different low, mid, high, and yellow is going to represent the last of the low, mid, high that I haven't used. Now, these 3 digits now have one of each, but these 3 digits don't. These only have the green and the yellow, so this needs a blue. And now these 3 digits have one of each, but these 3 digits don't. They're missing a green, so I have to add green. And as I go along, I'm always dropping one off, so I have to pick it up for the next set. So every third digit along the line is always going to be the same thing because they need to be, as I move along, I'm going to drop it off and I need to pick it up again, basically, is the way it's the way I've found to explain it. There might be a better way, but that's the way I've found to explain it. Now, because I'm solving and explaining. So what I've got here is a green and a yellow, but I don't know what green and yellow are. But these are all blue. But they could be high, couldn't they? Because I can put a 9 on that arrow. I could put a 9 with something as high as a 7. I can't put a 9. So I could never put a 1 or a 9 into those. Because if this is a 9, this would have to be 9 and 9. Because the average would be 18. This would be 9 times 2, which would be 18, which doesn't work. So 9 isn't in any of those. So 9 is in one of those 3. A 9 here would make this a 1, which it can't be. So 9 isn't here. A 9 here would make this a 1, which it can't be. So that's not the 9. That's the 9 and that's the 1. That's really cool. Didn't see that coming. So that puts 9 somewhere up here. Now, 9 can go on the arrow. These are all not blue. Those. They're all from green and yellow. I can put 2 on an arrow. I can never put 5 on a 10 line because it would need to go with another 5, which would be another way of explaining this, I suppose. If I put a 5 on the 2-cell 10 line, it would go with another 5. One of these is blue is not mid. Blue is either 2, 3 or 7, 8. Because it can't be mid, because if I've already got 2 mids. So blue is either 2, 3, because I don't have 1 available, or 7, 8. So blue is low or high. Can blue be high? Can that be? It can easily be 7, 8, or 9. This average thing is breaking my brain. 1 is up here. Now 1 can't be here because this would have to be 9. 1 is in one of those two. How? How do I break this open? There must be an odd digit on this, which is either going to be a 3 or a 7. If this is a 7 or an 8, there's a 9 in one of those, but I don't see why that's a problem. Because as I said, I could go like 9, 7, 8 would be fine. These must have an even total, though. Oh, this is consecutive with 1. That's the 2. So that's the 8. Sorry, I missed my consecutive dot. I'm going to remove that X now so I don't... That was just a gimme. So this is either 6, 7 or 3, 4. And this is the other of 6, 7 or 3, 4. So one of these does have to be low. Right, one of those has to be low because this is either 6, 7 or 3, 4. If this is the 3, 4, this has to be either 3 or 4. If this is the 6, 7, this has to be either 3 or 4. Now, that means the maximum that could be is 7. Because if this is a 4, I could do 1, 7. I was hoping that would mean that this couldn't be a high digit, but it could be. This isn't a 6, so this isn't a 7. Ah, blast. I really should be using different colors for this because I know these are high. This is low, this is mid. I've got some high, low, mid coloring already. These are both low. But these are both high. So blue can't be high. Because if blue was high, then I'd have 4 highs in this column. Blue is low. So blue is 2, 3. And I know blue is correct. It is 1, 2, 3. And these can't be 1. That's incredibly cool. This isn't a 3, so this isn't a 4. This is a 2, 3. So this isn't a 3. So this isn't... Hang on. I forgot the 10 lines, didn't I? This isn't a 3, so this isn't a 7. This isn't a 6 because this isn't a 4. This is a 4-7 pair, so there's no 4-7 there. That goes this way. This is a 3 or... There's a 3-6 here. So one of these has to average 3. This is masterful. Still haven't cracked it. But to average 3, it has to sum to 6. Which would mean that whichever one is summing to 6, whichever one is summing to 6, the other one has to sum to 12. So that's a 2. One of these is a 6, which means the arrow is going to have to sum to 12, which is 6 times 2. But the only way, if I can't do 111 or 210, so it's going to have to be 39. So there's a 3 in one of those two and a 9 in one of those two, which means this can't be the 3 or I can't get 12 on the arrow. That's the 2. This is a 1, 3. And because one of these has to sum to 6, this is now a 5, 9. Because the 3 needs to get 6, which is going to be 1, 5, because the 3 is used up on the 3, 9 to get to the 12. The 2 makes this the 3, taking the 3 out of those. Now it's going to be this, isn't it? Yes, because this has to average 2. If this is a 2, in order to get the average to 2, this would have to be a 2. And that doesn't work. This is 1. This is 3. This is 1. The 3 is with 9 and 6, meaning this is the 3, so I can make the 5 work. The 3 is a 10 line with the 4 and the 6. The 7. I said the right thing and typed the wrong thing. The 6 is a 10 line with the 4. Holy cow. That is stunning setting. The 1 looks down, making that the 2, which makes that the 3, which makes that the 2. The 1 says that's not the 1, that's the 1. And in order for this to be a 4, this is 1 plus 3, so the average is 2. Okay, now I've used all of the constraints except some 10 lines and an entropic line. And I still don't know which of yellow. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to select all of the yellow and make them orange. I'm going to select all of the green and make them purple. And then I'm going to mark all of the high digits as yellow, all of the middle digits as green, all of the low digits as blue, this is green, and see if I can see anything. Yeah, these are high. Because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are a 7, 8 pair. Three is in one of those two. 2 is in one of those two. 1 is in one of those two because it can't be here. Yep. Six. No, this is a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, which means they're both mid. I'm not liking this colouring, but I'm not seeing what else I can do. 9 is in one of these two. If this is the low digit on the line, this would be the 4 and this would be the 6. Otherwise, it's a high digit and it's a 6, a 7, or an 8, which means this is 4, 3, or 2. It can't be 2, so this can't be 8. So these are the only possibilities for that 10 line. If this is the low digit, this is the high digit on the line. Because this can't be 1, 2, 3, or 4. Because if it was 4, this would be 6, and that doesn't work. So this is 6, 7, 8, 9, and it can't be 9. And it can't be 7, because if it's 7, that's 3. So this is 4 or 2. So this is only 2 or 4. What about this one? It can't be 1, can't be 2, can't be 3, can't be 4. This is only 7 or 8. And it can't be 7, because if this... Because it can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, or 9. So, and it can't be 5, because this would be 5. So this is 7 or 8. And if this is 7, this is 3, and that doesn't work. So this is 8, and this is 2. 8 is a high digit. 2 is a low digit. That means this is the 6, which is a middle digit. And this is a 4, which is also a middle digit. Three is in one of those two. This is a middle digit, and there's 2 other middle digits. This is a high digit. So whether green is orange or purple, I've got all 3 of the middle digits. This is a high digit now. So it's 7, 8, 9. Six is in one of those 3. Actually, it could go there. One is in the corner. These 2 ones are knocking out all of those, and that one is knocking out that one. That is a low 1, which puts 1 in one of those 2. So this isn't low. If it's high, it's 8. There's no 3 here. This 3 is looking down, taking 3 out. So this isn't 7. These are both mid. Okay. So that's a 4, 6 pair. So there must be a 5 in one of those, because this is a middle and a high. So there must be a 5 in one of those. And now I've got 5 seeing all of those. The 5 which is in whichever one of those seeing all of those. This is a 5, which is the last mid. So this digit now, which can't be low and it can't be mid. So that is a high digit. So it's 7, 8, or 9. Now this high is going to match up with either green or purple or orange, whichever one is high, giving me all 3 of them. This now has to be the middle digit. And the middle digit that I haven't used is 5. These are 3 and 7, and I can't put 3 there. That's the 7, that's the 3. 7 is a high digit, 3 is a low digit. This, you know what? I still don't know. I've missed something fundamental here. The 7 looks down, making this 8 and this 7. How have I not cracked this? How is this entropic line going to give up its secrets? 9 is in one of those 2 by Sudoku. Five is in one of those 2 by Sudoku. Seven is in one of those 2 by Sudoku. If that's a 7, no, that doesn't do it. How? Seven is in one of these 2, because one of these has to be high. Right, one of these has to be high. So, yeah, this isn't a 3. This is a middle digit. Because so this is from 4, 5, or 6, because one of these is mid, one of these is high. So there must be a 2. This is a 2. Where do I put the 2 in this row? Yeah, it can't be here because this isn't a low digit. This is the 2, which is the low digit. which means this isn't the 2. This is the 2, which is the low digit. And this must be a high digit, because I've got 1, 2, and whichever of orange and purple is mid. So this is a high digit, which is 7 or 8. Now this must be a middle digit, because I've got 1, 2, and whichever one of these is high. This is a middle digit and is 4 or 6. This is crazy. Now this must be a high digit, because 4, 6, with the 5, this is a high digit, which must be 8 or 9, because it's not 7. What's going on? Now, I know this isn't the mid digit anymore, because one of these is mid and one of them is high. This digit here sees all 3 lows and all 3 mids. So this is a high digit, and this, by exactly the same logic now that it sees 1 plus whichever one of these is high, all 3 highs, this is a middle digit. So this is 4 or 6. This is 7, 8, 9. This gives me a 4, 6 pair. So if there's... So there's a 4 or a 6 on this. How? This can't be... This is a high digit. It sees 1, 2, 3, and it sees 4, 6, and 5. That is a high digit. So that's a 7 or an 8, because it can't be a 9. That is one of... Oh, no, it could be that as well. I still don't know. How is this? One of these is 5. One of these is 5. One of those 2 is 5. Five is in... If orange is high, that's an... No, this. This sees 7, 8, and 9, and it has for ages. Orange is green. And purple is yellow. That digit. And there was possibly another one that did something similar, but that's the trick. So this is from 4, 5. This is the 5. This is not the 5. This is an 8, 9. So this is the 7. This is not the 7. This is 4, 5, 6. There must be a 5 in one of those two. This is a 7 or an 8. This is an 8 because it sees a 7 and a 9. So that's the 7, that's the 8. That looks down, making that the 9. This is not the 9. This is a 4 or a 6, giving me a 4, 6 pair. This is the 5 because of the 4, 6 pair. This is not the 5. This is a 7 or an 8. This is a 7 or an 8, giving me a 7, 8 pair in the row, making that the 9. There's no 9 there. This is a 7, 8 pair in the column, making that the 9. There's no 9 in either of those, but the only place I can put a 7 now is there. That's the 7, which is the other high digit. This is a 4 or a 5. The 5 is looking down, making that the 4. These are a 1 and a 5. And the 5 is looking up, making that the 1, which is the low digit. This is the medium digit, which is the 5, which says that's not the 5, that's the 5, which is the medium digit. The 1 says that's not the 1, that's the 1. This makes this the 3. This, get rid of that colouring. This is the 3, which is the other low digit. This is a 4, 6 pair. That was stunning. I love this puzzle. The 9 looks up, making this the 8 and this the 9. This is a 4 or a 6. The 4, 6 pair makes this the 5, taking 5 out of there. 5 and 6 means that's the 4, which makes that the 6 and that the 4, which looks up making that the 6 and that the 4. The 6 looks across making that the 4, which makes that the 6, that the 4 by 10 line, that the 6. The 6 looks up making that the 4 and that the 6. This is the 6 that I haven't placed, meaning these are the low digits I haven't placed in the row. This is the 1, this is the 3. The 7 looks down, making this the 8. I now haven't placed a 3 in the column, so that is the low 3. These are 2 and 7. These are 2 and 9. The 9 makes that the 2, which is the low digit. This is the high digit I haven't placed, so it's the 7. This is going to be the low 2. This is going to be the high 9. The 8 looks across making that the 7 and that the 8, which looks across making that the 7 and that the 8. And that is the beautiful conclusion to perspective by Ratfinkz. Holy cow, that puzzle is top notch. That is a prime example of me being blessed with the puzzles I'm given. Mwah. Beautiful puzzle. Thank you, Ratfinkz, for all of the support of the channel over the last couple of years, and that puzzle. That puzzle is off the chart great. I don't think I've seen. I haven't seen constraints used like that. Like I probably have, but just the way that fell together, that is stunning. This is another one. Let's get the solve count of this one up, please, people. I want to see this one break 1,000. I really do. Thanks, everyone. And as always, good luck with your solving.